And then there's another storm next weekend. So who knows? Maybe we'll even do this again next weekend. But
I'm going to try to convince John that it's not going to snow.
Yeah, we can believe me. I'm willing to take a stab at that because no, it's a really interesting system. It's actually behaving incredibly well. Like 2 days ago, 3 days ago, like everything that the model was saying has held, at least from what I've been looking at. I don't know if other weather folks are saying that. So I don't know. Why don't we'll jump right into the maps here. So basically what we got a little storm coming across the country. And you know what? I forgot to do this.
John, you're crackling.
You know what? Oh, I got good news for you. When you hear me crackling, the audience doesn't.
Okay.
So I re-listened to the last broadcast when it kept happening and the crackling did not. So it's something between your computer and my computer.
All right. Sounds good.
So, oops, I went back too far and I'm all excited to show you that. And I almost spilled the beans. So this is today and you can see the storm. And again, my mouse is small, but you can see there's a little bit going on over kind of Alabama, Louisiana, Georgia. And then we've got this system up here. This is the system I talked about in my forecast the other day on Neighbors and Friends that's just flying across the country. Yesterday it was here and 2 days ago it was off the coast. So, I mean, it's just remarkable how fast it's traveling across the country. And if we fast forward here, this is basically real time right now. You can see the systems are going to come together. And a low is going to form. And then once the low forms, it gets close to the coast. You can see the low right here, just off the coast of is that Virginia or North Carolina? I got North Carolina. You can see the low forming just off the coast, and that's when it really gets going. It starts to strengthen. But again, look at the timing on this. Look how fast this is going. I mean, the storms just, if they had speeding tickets for storms, this one would get one. The storm's looking to be a little bit stronger than forecast, but it's also looking to be a tiny bit further south than forecast. So we briefly today in Hartford went to a winter storm watch up here, and I believe they've now downgraded it to a winter weather advisory, which is what it had been.
Yes, it is a winter weather advisory. That was, I think at around 3 or 4 o'clock this afternoon, it had switched over.
Okay. Yeah. So, and I said yesterday when I did the forecast, I kind of felt like, it could be a winter storm. I still think it's going to be a close call. It's going a little bit further south. It's racing by us. I think, the forecasters are saying now it's going to hang around into tomorrow night. I really think by Super Bowl, it's gone. So I think if you wake up early, like 7 a.m. right at sunrise, so sunrise is like 6:57 now. This time of year, we've gained about a half hour now in the mornings. And if you look out the window facing east, I really think you're going to see thin sunshine through the clouds. And then literally 2 hours later, it's going to be light to moderate snow. It's going to happen that quickly. Snow's going to pick up intensity. It's going to run through the day, varying intensities, call it moderate most of the day. We'll get up to maybe 1.5 inch accumulation per hour. And I still think it's all gone between 4 and 5.
In time for the Super Bowl, huh?
Yeah, I think in time. Yep. I think so. And then we've got a little, what they call an Alberta Clipper coming up here. You see that developing on Monday. It's going to come over here on Tuesday. And it's going to put down some snow. Clippers typically don't put a lot of snow down. They'll put down 1 inch or 2, but this one looks like you could put down 3 or 4 inches. The nice thing about Clippers is it's all very light, very fluffy snow. You always get really cold air right behind them. It's going to be really cold this week. And
so they were talking about the polar vortex. Is that what?
I think that's a nonsense word. I'm sorry. I get so frustrated when they use when weather forecasters. I don't know. I don't want to sound like a jerk, and I'm going to sound like a jerk here. But one of the things I really try to focus on in weather forecasts is not being dramatic and not using words that are overly
like
dramatic.
Bombogenesis.
Yeah. Bombogenesis that's actually a real thing, though. That has to do with the rapid strengthening of a storm. I'm okay with bombogenesis, but the polar vortex is just the name, and I'm not looking at the technical definition, but it's basically the name of the wind patterns over the North Pole. So they use it because it sounds, but it's just normal. It's always there. Mm-hmm. And a bombogenesis is something that happens 2 or 3 times a year where a storm is just exploding off the coast rapidly. I don't know if they said that happened last week. I don't think it did, because we would have gotten mixing in here, and it didn't strengthen fast enough for us to get mixing. But So yeah, there's some words, and then you already know my opinion on the naming of storms.
Oh, well, I have a very strong opinion not to name storms except for hurricanes and
yes, exactly.
typhoons.
Hurricanes, which are done by the National Weather Service,
Yeah.
which is part of the Interior Department, and for those of you who care, and but you've got outlets. I won't name them, but one local, one national, that are not related to the government, not affiliated with the government, or a group of governing agencies that name storms, and they just name storms. So you get storms with two names, and it gets very complicated. I was actually looking. It was 6 or 7 years ago today. I guess we got slammed, or maybe tomorrow with a big one. That big 3-foot storm. I know today's the anniversary of the blizzard of '78. And I'm trying to remember. But,
I think it was more like February 13th. I think it was a little bit later, but it was like President's Day weekend.
But they named the storm Nina, I think it was named, and I think it was named by the Weather Channel, Nina. And it's like, it comes up as Nina on my stuff, and I'm just like, it's all very confusing to me. So anyway, so we stay away from storm names. At least I do, and because otherwise I just get confused, and people come up to me, "Oh, do you remember a storm so and so?" No, but if you tell me what happened, I'll typically remember it. So I want to show you. So this is the little clipper that's going to hit us on Tuesday. I love Alberta clippers. I mean, Ronnie, you've known me for a long time. You've seen my posts, and clippers are fun. They're not takeout storms. They're not knockout storms. They're just fun. You put a little bit of snow on the ground. Occasionally, you lose a day of school over it, and they're gone.
I don't know. I think sunshine and 80 degrees is fine.
Yeah, and I know. I agree with you there. Well, we're in February. You're going to start to notice. So we're just about an hour now. We're like 50 minutes, 52 minutes, something like that, of daylight at the end of the day. You're going to start to notice warmer afternoons. Usually right around February 15th, we start to hit that where it's like, we can still get that blast of Arctic air, but as it weakens, 40 degrees in the afternoon, 42 degrees, and you can feel the difference in the sunlight. We're 2 months off of the shortest day of the year, the sun being lowest on the horizon. So I actually kind of like February because you start to feel that warmth in the afternoons. Anyway, so that's the clipper. And then we have another storm we're looking at toward the end of the week, which is now not quite looking so impressive. But I want to show you, let me make sure I don't go, there we go. Is that it? Let me just, no, it's further up. We're going further. We're looking at some wild storm in the southeast here, which is
so that's a week. Looks like a week from Tuesday.
It's a week out, and it's we're heading into. We've already had Birmingham, Alabama has already had tornadoes this year, and it just seems like every year a little bit earlier. I mean, I don't remember them happening in January. February, they tend to happen because, I talked about last time, we get that fight between, the milder spring transition air and that hardcore winter air. Winter is still winning, obviously, but you can get some really wild weather. And I'm telling you, it's looking like some big weather here if this holds. Now, this is far out, but if you look at Tuesday the 16th, and if you're anywhere in, Alabama, Louisiana, Georgia,
it looks pretty stormy there. Red there.
Yeah. Missouri. I want to make sure I'm getting it right. I'm getting my states mixed up. Mississippi. Yeah. I almost said Missouri. Missouri is such an amazing state because it's close to everything. If I had to move, I'd move to Missouri, but because you can get anywhere in like a day. But it really looks like some wild weather if this holds together. And obviously, I can't go far enough out to see our potential impact here. But and then I want to show you one other map. Let me go back to the studio here. This is a NOAA map that I just pulled. And this is how well behaved the storm's being tomorrow. We're talking about accumulations. I think these accumulations are a little optimistic. I think we'd be under a winter storm warning right now if they were going to hold. So I think, particularly Hartford North, I think they're just a little optimistic. I just think it's going to be, 5 inches, 4 inches. We could hit 6 inches. But the storm's tracking just a tiny bit farther south. And it's going through so fast. We just don't have that time for the accumulation that you need to turn it into kind of an official winter storm. So that's really it. So I wanted to take 5 minutes with you, and then we have a couple things to talk about.
So along the lines of the storm, though, I need to make sure as many people know as possible that a parking ban goes into effect at 7 a.m. Sunday. So
Okay.
I just got notified by Public Works that, and they want to make sure as many people know as possible. We know it's Super Bowl Sunday. You're not supposed to be celebrating and having a Super Bowl party with people outside your household, really, anyway. So that shouldn't be too big a burden, but that they are very, very serious, especially in the center, that people cannot be parked on the street. The wing plows that the town uses to plow Farmington Avenue, for example,
Yep.
can't maneuver around parked cars. So if you are parked during that parking ban on Farmington Avenue, you're going to get towed.
Yeah, and $150 to get your car back. Don't ask me how I know. Um, so yeah, I mean the trick I suggest is now let me ask you this: if somebody who's trying to save money and concerned about expense, can they park? Are they allowed to park in the town hall parking lot or not?
You can park in the town hall parking lot. You
Okay.
have to move your car by 10 p.m. on
Okay.
Sunday.
Okay.
You can park in a school parking lot or the parking lot of a park, and those are free. So if you need to get your car off the road and you can't park in your driveway, you can, there are other options where you don't have to pay. If you park in one of the paid lots or in one of the garages, you will have to pay.
Okay. So that's a trick. Yeah. And the garages is, we just did it and it's, I don't know, $18 or something. But I was happy we did it because I can't remember if it was 12 or 18. It's one of those. Do you remember? Do you know offhand?
So if you just asked me a question, you were all
Oh,
crackly
okay.
and
I'm just trying to
I
remember how
couldn't,
much
I
I
couldn't
was
hear
just
it.
trying to remember how much the garages were for a day. I think it's 18. Is it 18 or 12 for the day? Do you remember?
You know what? I don't
Yeah,
even want
I
to
know.
say
I,
because I don't know, and I
yeah.
have actually never done that. So
Somewhere in that range. So, but yeah, we have over here. We have what I call an undersized two-car garage. We can fit, a Mini Cooper in there. Like two Mini Cooper-sized cars. But anything bigger than like a Jetta, and you can't even open the doors. That's my only complaint with the house here. Is we love the house, but if I could just add a third bay, but I can't. So, all right. So we have a couple things to promote. Number one, Thursday night, you've got something going on that I'm not too familiar with, so I'm going to let you handle that one.
yeah, I just wanted to make sure people knew about this. So I'm a member of the board of the Connecticut Foundation for Open Government, and we have our fifth annual stories behind the stories behind the biggest stories of 2020. And this year it's free. It's actually um, it, it's typically free for and a donations requested, which you can make a donation this year as well. But it's being moderated by Leslie Mays from NBC Connecticut, and there's going to be a focus on really the top stories of the year by the reporters who've written about them. So you've got the impact of COVID-19 on everything in our lives. Um, we've got gun violence, Black Lives Matter protests, racial and social justice, um, Governor Lamont and state politics, the election, zoning and housing and poverty. And the reporters who are participating include a team from the Connecticut Mirror, Mark Pasniakis and Jacqueline Rabe Thomas, Christine Stewart from CT News Junkie, Brian Didlake from Fox 61, Rick Green and Daniela Altamari from The Current, and I'm going to probably mess this up, Keila Torres Ocasio from Hearst Connecticut Mirror, and Sarah Gordon from The Day. So the Connecticut Foundation for Open Government really promotes free speech and First Amendment rights, and it's a group of people from the media as well as a lot of attorneys are part of it, and people from actually all aspects of the media. And we do not only this program, but we sponsor essay contests and other programs throughout the year. So it's been a little tougher this past year because of COVID and we can't have any events in person, but this one's virtual. It's on WebEx. I'll post the information on the wehi.com Facebook page if anybody would like to register to attend. And it's Thursday from 7 to 8:30.
So maybe put it in, if you can, put it in the comments of this broadcast, just because people will be thinking about, they can click on it. I don't know if you can, or if
I,
you have
I
it
actually
handy.
can't. I can't
No,
comment
okay.
while we're on.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. So we have that, and then we have we were going to try to do it this Wednesday night, but a conflict came up. So, but our next show, we have our guests. We're all set on the guests. We just don't know the date yet. We got to confirm with the guests, but we got Patty Sheehan Albee, who is the founder and admin of Neighbors and Friends, the Neighbors and Friends Facebook page with 20. I think she's over 20,000 members now. I could look real quick, but I won't. So, and then we've got Rocky and Sandy Holland, who are the founders of the West Hartford Political Forum page. So when things started to get a little political, Neighbors and Friends, they went ahead and created this other page. So I think it's going to be fun. Rocky's a lot of fun. We had him on, if you remember, Ronnie, on that election show we did, and we just really just chatted with him and kind of got his insight, and really enjoyed having him. So he's a lot of fun. Sandy's always a lot of fun to talk to. And we are going to chat a little bit about that. We'll chat a little bit about what else they're up to. Rocky has a wine show that's on Channel 5 every month. In fact, you and I appeared on it. Can't believe it's been over a year, but it's been over a year because it was pre-COVID. And it's a lot of fun to do that show. And he gets, aside from me, he gets notables in town to come on the show. And then for some reason he invited me, but we had fun that night. We sat around and drank after the show, which I don't do very often. So it was a fun night. So we have that going on, and then we got Super Bowl tomorrow night. But the big game we have to talk about, forget the Super Bowl, is Duke, North Carolina, which is happening.
That's right. See my shirt. This is Duke Blue.
Yes, Duke Blue. So everybody root for North Carolina.
Color blue. No.
The last time they played, I don't know if you remember, Ronnie, but probably not the last time they played, but a couple times ago. We were at it was election day. You remember this? And you were dutifully taking election results from as they came in from various precincts.
It was a special election, right?
Yeah, it was a special election, and I was shouting to you score updates every few minutes, and it was a nail biter. They ended up winning like on a last minute shot, I think in overtime or double overtime.
It was very exciting. It was definitely
very exciting. So, and I got to convey all that to you. So we had a little fun. So I will be rooting for Duke tonight, or as I like to call it, Harvard of the South. And see, I want to go on here to pick on you, Ronnie. That's all. No. That's what to give you a time. So no, I will be rooting for Duke tonight. It should be a good game. And then tomorrow night, we might have talked about this, but who do you have in tomorrow night's game? Who do you think wins?
You know what? I don't know. I think Kansas City's going to win. I'm not even sure who I'm going to root for. I still feel like Tom Brady's kind of a traitor, but I know the rest of my family doesn't really feel that way. So I value loyalty. I don't think anybody should ever be traded, or I think you should commit to a team for life. So the rest of my family doesn't agree.
It's like the mafia, a blood oath. You got to take a blood oath to the team. Well, I think I've never been on a sporting event in my life, and that's not going to change tomorrow. But take Kansas City and the points if you are a betting person. That's what I think. So I think 3 points is. I know they won by only 3 points earlier this year against Tampa, but I said it last time. There's the NFL and then there's Kansas City. They're that much better than the rest of the league. So unless they have some sort of weird COVID outbreak, you heard about that, right? What happened?
Yeah, I think last I read, everybody is cleared.
Everybody's cleared, but who knows? Maybe people wake up with fevers tomorrow. So that could change things. But unless something weird happens with COVID, I think it's going to be Kansas City, and I think the fourth quarter will be garbage time. So anyway, but all right. So that's the weather. 4 or 5. I don't think we'll get to 6. It's going to be close. It's going to be in and out quick, but it's going to make a mess of things tomorrow during the day. But I think Monday school will be fine. I don't see any scenario even for an hour delay. You definitely want to clean up immediately after this one. Really, really frigid air is coming in behind it, and it's not going anywhere for several days. So clean up. Don't let it turn into a black ice situation. And that's all I got. Any last parting shots, Ronnie?
No. Sounds good.
Your husband get home with the groceries yet?
Not yet.
No? Okay. Hey.
Or
he's hanging out outside. So okay, patiently waiting. So all right, Ronnie, I will talk to you this week, and everyone we'll keep you updated with the weather.
All right.
We'll talk to you soon.